Okay, I figured out my key to success. Now I'm locked in. I learned how to open doors like a locksmith.
Welcome back. You're now locked in with DK and Atwood. I'm Atwood. Killer to my left is DK. Killer to the far left. Jiu-Jitsu brown belt. A local. What would you describe Phil on the mats, DK?
I don't know, man. He's just I wouldn't say phenom, because he's worked hard to get where he's at, but he's definitely, a stud on the mats, I should say.
We'll call him a stud. Stud. It's
stud. We're just gonna start pimping you out for stud fees.
I was hoping for men.
Take your socks off.
Take your socks off.
Whoa, hold on.
Hey,
let's put the Cash App up right here in the edit, and then we'll consider it.
It's Mr. Phil Paynter.
Phil Square inch for feet pics. Oh. That's what happens when you get an engineer on OnlyFans.
Yeah, Phil is a very interesting dude. Not only is he a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but he's you said you're going for your third bachelor's degree in
civil and engineering science with a concentration in civil.
Yeah, so
whatever that is.
Like whatever.
What are your other two? What are your other two?
Math and physics.
Math and physics.
The two things I hate the most.
So one thing I will say about Phil is he's extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
Extremely intelligent. And what that does is when you get somebody that's extremely intelligent and they're really good at jiu-jitsu, or it makes them really good at jiu-jitsu because it's just, I don't know, it's just the way they can piece things together. And you'll see that a lot of times with people in jiu-jitsu that people that are smart or have college education or doctors or let's take Rayhan for instance. Rayhan's super smart and really good at jiu-jitsu as well. So Phil, how long have you been training? No,
I think I'm going on about 8 years.
8 years, man, and already a brown belt. Yeah. Well, I think I was a brown belt at 8 years. No big deal.
So how many times roughly would you say you've competed? And on what what level?
Oh, good Lord.
Trying to get that microphone a little closer. Oh. There you go.
I obviously competed a lot more at purple in the IBJJF circuit. I think I was averaging about an IBJJF a month during that span.
Yeah.
Gi and no gi, despite my no gi reputation. I think I won 7 or 8 opens in no gi, and then won 1 in the gi, and then a whole bunch of silvers and bronzes because I'm good enough to get on the podium in the gi, but not good enough to win.
I don't think that's
I'd always lose by something
statement,
stupid an advantage, or I'd get teched out, or just.
A lot of people lose by those stupid advantages, man. But that's what prevents a tie,
Yeah.
So it just sucks when people play the game and win by the advantage at the end.
What belt level did you start competing? As a white belt or?
Oh yeah, my first competition was 2 months into white belt.
Oh, okay.
Wow. What was that? Was that a good fight or something?
The most prestigious of all organizations. You might know it as the North American Grappling Association.
Oh man. Yes.
Not to brag, but my first gold medal came from that tournament. It was in the gi.
Wow, you're after only 2 weeks?
2 months.
2 months. Wow, sorry.
Nice.
Where did I get 2 weeks from?
So what would you say your favorite, I guess, game to play in competing? Are you a guard puller or you like to wrestle?
So I am obviously not a wrestler. I will train takedowns and stuff. If you watch me if you watched me today at Open Mat, I stood and I wrestled with some of the people. I do think it's important to work on your takedowns, but when you compete, I feel like you should definitely go to where your A game is.
Yeah.
It's important to know takedowns. So guard pullers, train your takedowns in the gym. But when I compete, I prefer to start in my guard. I got 8 minutes, 10 minutes to sub an opponent. I'm going to start in the best,
most advantageous position. Yeah. And that's the thing is what's so funny though is you see guys they're like, oh, I'm going to work on my grappling, and then they go to a tournament, or I'm going to work on my wrestling. I want to do my wrestling, but then they go to like a new breed tournament. I'm talking about what's that guy's name? Robert Deagle.
Mm-hmm.
He went to a new breed tournament, and somebody was like, I don't follow him. I don't, but I know he's legit. But that guy sits on his butt and goes right for a heel hook ASAP. And doing that in a new breed, when like, you're probably going to win. You're probably better than the purple belts that are there competing in the advanced division. But you as a black belt go and compete in the advanced division and immediately sit to your butt and go right to a heel hook to see how, and they're not working on their wrestling. He didn't work on it, didn't do anything on it for his wrestling, which it is what it is, but with Phil, he has pretty good wrestling, man. Like, he really does. I think one thing that's making him work a little bit more on his wrestling now are like the ADCC rules and different things like that, which the ADCC rule set is like, I love the ADCC rule set. And I think they're going to start, they were talking about charging people now for using their ADCC rule set.
Well, it's because when people do those rule sets, they do it wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, it's ADCC rule set, and you watch it, and you're like,
they are giving points in the first 4 minutes.
What are you guys doing? Yeah. That's not ADCC rule set. Yeah. People, they're so complicated, and people do them wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I know the rules in and out like some of the better refs and coaches do, but there are some tournaments that they're like what was that UFC Fight Pass that they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna use ADCC rules, and they screwed it all up, and like a lot of some of the athletes were like,
was that that's Cage Fury, that's a Fury grappling, right?
No, it was the UFC Fight Pass one, I think. God, who was the main event?
Aljamain Sterling or whatever?
I think it was Nicky Rod and Yuri Samoas were on that one. I think they tried to do ADCC rules for those bigger matches. Which, I mean, I kind of figured that they would just keep it with EBI overtime rules, because that's just kind of... It's not my favorite rule set, but I mean...
It's like when you got a tie, you know it pretty well. I had to do EBI rule set at Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, man, and I was just, you hear, I'm going against one of Eddie Bravo's main guys when I was going against Nathan Orchard, and it's just Eddie Bravo's on the side. It's like he's counting down the minutes, or counting down the seconds before the minute, because you do the coin flip after the first minute of the match, and then heads or tails, you either go bottom, butterfly guard with double unders, or you're on top, and you got to start in that position, which is really weird. But at the end of that, if the time expires, you flip a coin again, and then it's you start, was it back control or something?
You get to start either on the back or in the spider web.
Spider web, which is like, what? Like, you know what spider web is? So it's an armbar position with the leg hook.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did some people call that just spider guard?
No.
Oh, I don't know why I thought that was called spider guard.
Because you're bad at jiu-jitsu.
But I was right about the. I was right about the
first. It's because you're a blue belt.
I was right about the first part. So you brought up Aljamain, and that's something I wanted to talk about too, because there's been a lot of controversy. Obviously with. I don't even know who it is that he was going against, but he was complaining about the dude just scooting on his butt and pulling guard the whole time. So there's been debate online, right? And people think that people that, pull guard, they just find it boring, blah, 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 blah. So since you guys are seasoned competitors, right, I wanted to ask your opinion on that. Because obviously you have one. These people that just watch, a lot of them are just like the people who complain about, MMA fights and how they're scored. They know nothing, right?
Yeah.
So here's my beef with that. Is that, let's say, the guy stood up with Aljamain and Aljamain took him down. Aljamain would still have to pass that guy's guard.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's just not letting Aljamain get his 2.
Yeah.
Or whatever score. I don't know how. I was Fury, right? I think they only count submission attempts, so I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't exactly know how Fury scores, so forgive my ignorance on that one. But it's just, what would be the difference between if he took him down and had to pass the guard, or if he has to just pass the guard? If anything, you saved a bunch of energy, and like you get to pass the guard fresh. Like you didn't have to exert any energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get your top game for free, which is why, when I teach, the advanced class, you hear me yelling at the guys. I mean, I think you were there at that class. I say, if you pull guard,
Well, yeah, you were yelling at me.
You better do something with it and fast. Like that is not, because one of the biggest ways you can get bit is you could pull guard and the dude just like comes straight into it, because that's what he wanted anyways.
Yeah, my thing about it is, people that are pulling guard, they're trying to get the jiu-jitsu action started, right? It's like, you can do jiu-jitsu standing, but 9 times out of 10 it ends up being a wrestling match and a grappling. It is a grappling match, but we're there to do jiu-jitsu. So the person pulling guard is trying to go ahead and get into jiu-jitsu. But the person, Aljamain, what he was doing was trying to skate around and trying to run around him and like stand up, and get mad about it. But it's like, all right, I thought we were here to do jiu-jitsu, so let's just try to pass his guard, and do jiu-jitsu, right? Like that's what we're here to see. We're here to see a jiu-jitsu match. That's what grappling is anyways. Grappling, if it was a wrestling match, then I could understand him wanting them to stand up, right?
Right.
But it was a submission grappling match, which is you have to make contact with that other person. And so skating around the outside doesn't seem like you want to do jiu-jitsu. So it's kind of like stalling almost. And he lost that match because of that, because he didn't want to do jiu-jitsu in a jiu-jitsu match.
And also feel like it would be kind of stupid to try to stand up and wrestle somebody with
100%.
with an Aljamain Sterling.
If you're better than jiu-jitsu.
Isn't he like collegiate level wrestler or something? You don't stand with that.
The dude, right. And so another thing about Aljamain is like he was for that promotion, the CFFC, he was the 125-pound champ. Now he's like what? The 130. He was the 135-pound UFC champ for how long? For
a couple years.
For a while, you know. And then it just got to a point to where, he got beat. Who did he get beat by? Volkanovski?
He got beat by Sean
O'Malley. Duh. Why did I say Volkanovski?
I don't know.
But yeah, he got beat by O'Malley but I don't know, man. He's still good. He's still legit. But it's just, if you're in a jiu-jitsu match, let's get started with the jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Because a lot of times you'll hear guys, they'll start standing, and then they're freaking doing the hand grip, and then or doing
We're watching 8 minutes of collar ties.
Yeah, you're doing collar ties, doing over/under pummeling. It's like feint. Let's get into a collar tie. Feint, collar tie. Collar tie. Get off me. It's like an 80s wrestling match, like pro wrestling.
Who was it that Luke Rockhold had that grappling match with? And that's all it was the entire time.
It was Mickey Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I want to say it was kind of recent too.
But when I was in combat jiu-jitsu worlds, like they were like yelling like 30 seconds, like till the countdown. So when I was going, I wanted to get that takedown. So it was me. I engaged with Nathan Orchard, and it ended up, hurting me in the long run. But, I was engaging. I was trying to make some action happen and do something. And, some people don't do that,
Is that available to watch online, that match?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's probably somewhere. I'd have to see. I'm not. Listen, it's not that long, guys. So
in combat jiu-jitsu, there's strikes, but is it like open palm?
Open hand palm, boom. Yeah. So the thing, I went in for a takedown. He tried to wrap up a guillotine. I kind of spun up underneath, and when I did, what happened is I was bringing my leg back across like this, and so he just goes right for a
heel hook.
Yeah, it was like his go-to thing. Like that was his thing, and he just capitalized right on to it. And I tried to come up and smack him in the face, but man, when you're legs starting to, torque. And that's my Achilles heel. No pun intended. But it's like all the big matches that I've had, my first fight in Bellator, I got caught with a heel hook, and, and then Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds, I get caught with a heel hook. Those are only 2 tournaments that I've ever been caught with a heel hook. So it's kind of crazy.
So in combat jiu-jitsu, where are you not allowed to strike?
Pretty sure you can strike
Anywhere
everywhere.
as long as it's an
open hand. Yeah.
Can you strike? Are you allowed to strike on the feet though? I thought
Can't strike on the feet.
You had to
Sorry.
be grounded.
Yeah, you have to be grounded. Sorry, I thought you meant like body part.
No.
But yeah, you have to be grounded. So as soon as you hit the ground, you can start striking. Yeah. If it's standing, that's called pancration. So if you have an open hand smacks and stuff like that to the ground, that's called pancration. And that's like they had that in the Olympics, man. Yeah,
Really?
First form of MMA was.
We talked about that
Olympics.
recently. You brought that up because I had never heard of it. Whenever you brought it up the first time. Speaking of grounded opponents, right? Did you see the rule change that they're doing in MMA? They're trying to change it again, the grounded opponent rule.
No, I didn't.
Because of recent events. So now they want to change it to where instead of weight-bearing hand, you just have to have anything other than your feet on the ground. If it's a knee, anything.
Finger.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Like they're moving away from just like the fingers because that's the game that people are playing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like knee has to be down, or
gotcha.
something, or like elbow or something like that. Like
Gotcha.
I think they're trying to move
We'll have to
away
look
from
into that
the
a
weight
little bit
bearing
more.
hand. But you said that and it just reminded me of it. So in your years of competing, right? Like, are there any moments that stand out to you, like shitty moment, very shitty moment, or like a high? You know what I mean? Because I would imagine, especially at a brown belt level, you're competing against some fucking killers, right? So
He's going against mostly black belts now.
Black or brown. Usually.
Do you have any oh shit moments that you remember off the top of your head?
For oh shit moments, I took this match and admittedly it was probably a little over my head to take, but anybody who knows me knows that I don't decline matches. You can talk to any promoter, any whatever. They send me an email, they're like, hey, we have so-and-so for you. Do you want the match? And I'm always like,
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I don't care if it's tough or whatever, I don't. That's just my thing. It's like if I'm here, if I put my name in the hat to compete, just give me someone, I'll show up. But I ended up going up against a guy named Manny Vasquez. He's the owner of 10th Planet Greenville, and he had just taken the Enigma. I think it was Enigma belt. He choked Frank Rosenthal.
Yeah, I know Frank.
Who's
I've trained with Frank before.
A very legit black belt.
Yeah, he was a brown belt when I trained with him.
And I had the match with him, and he gave purple belt me a very hearty black belt ass whooping. But it changed how I played no-gi, honestly, because that was when I started working on more of getting my Z guard, my butterfly guard game, playing with more angling and off balancing instead of just trying to berimbolo everything, because it's cool. But once you start going into the no-gi realm and you don't have grips, I feel like it can start being easier to stall you out. Yeah. And, not that I got stalled out with him. He handily beat my ass. Let me be clear about that. But that was just like the final like straw. Is like I was like, all right, I need to make an adjustment to my game. I can't just, kiss the dragon on repeat over and over again. And also, that's when I started really working on my top game, not trying to not be the person on the bottom. And that came out, I think last February. I had a match at Triumph Fight Academy against a black belt who was absolutely jacked. But like I won the match just with like top position passing. I ended up winning 14-0, but it was just all passing and top position, which is, it was cool to see. Like, and then my next match, I was playing guard most of the time, but at the end I did get on top, and I was doing really well on top and starting to pass and create back exposure. And now, if you ask most people in the gym, I I feel like I'm a better passer now than I am a guard player, ironically. It's just my wrestling is terrible, so I have to start on the bottom.
It's not terrible, but
yeah, that was it was an oh shit moment, but it was a good turning point for me because, that was actually the last time I've been submitted in competition is that match with him.
That was when? February of when? Last year?
I don't even remember. I was a purple belt.
yeah.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember either, man. That was a while ago. Yeah, Phil started training with me when he was a blue belt. He started coming over here. Yeah, weren't you a blue belt when you started coming over here? He was a blue belt, like not training specifically with us, but he would come in on lunch, on our lunch class, and man, those classes used to be so small, bro. Like, maybe 5, 6 people, sometimes 8, and so
It's crazy how much that's grown too.
it is wild, man. It is. I
was here on the grand opening day. I think it was like me, Ethan, you, and like 4 or 5 other people.
Yeah. It was very slim
That was back
pickings.
when the mats used to have like the raised center and
we had
go all the way to the wall.
Yeah, it went all the way around, so it was like a platform, it was like a stage almost, and so you could sit all the way around it. A lot of wasted space during that time frame. The idea I had about that was cool.
If you ever
but
did like an invitational like super fight,
that
card,
would
though, that would have been
that was
dope.
it. Yeah, it would have been dope because you could have set chairs all the way around it, and you had plenty of mat space. But it was a good while it lasted. I was taking a lot from if you've been to Art of Jiu-Jitsu and seen their mat space, they have. You can walk all the way around their one mat space. And so I was trying to mimic that a little bit, but anyways, Phil started and, you played a lot of leg locks then. I mean, dude, he probably caught me in a couple leg locks back then. I know for sure because, man, I don't fuck around with the heels, dude. When people grab my ankles and my legs, I have a fear of, all right, I'm gonna hold out on this. I can defend this. It doesn't hurt. Right? It's not that it hurts. It's just, all right, how long do I want to play this game with him torquing on my heel, before pop. And me being my age that I am now and the things that I want to do in my life, I don't want to be out 6 months sitting on the sideline in a knee brace, teaching jiu-jitsu in a knee brace, like from the side. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Marcelo Garcia back when he tore his ACL. Maybe some of you watching do. But Marcelo had to teach his classes in a leg splint on the side while other 2 guys, he was talking them through the motions, right? And there'd be sometimes like, no, don't do that. Yeah, put it right there. Put this right there. And it's so I never want that, right? So it's, for me, it's I tap early and I tap often. And I try to, tell my students that as well. Now, from a competition standpoint, it's a little bit different. But where it starts to hinder your performance is because in training, you don't want to get injured. And you're kind of aware of that. And you get caught in a heel hook and you tap early, right? You tap early, tap often, right? So how that hinders you is in the match is if I go into a match and then I get caught in a heel hook, I'm not thinking defense number one. I'm thinking injury number one. I'm thinking prevention. Like, how can I, I'm caught in a heel hook. I need to, get out of this, or my leg could be snapped apart, and so it can cause you not to work more on your defensive skills in an actual tournament, But these guys in here are always attacking each other's legs. I don't fuck around with them, man.
Well, I mean, they
Fucking around.
One thing that I do with Colin.
We train in the gi. I train in the gi now, so I ain't got to worry about that shit.
One thing I do with Colin is because Colin will, I have mats in my garage, and
Yeah.
I'll do they're just big enough to do some specific rounds. So what I'll have Colin do a lot of times is I'll have Colin like put me in 50-50 or put me in the saddle or put me in double trouble, and I have to like
Defend.
I just work on defense. And like just I think the best way to get better at jiu-jitsu is with specific rounds. Like I think
agree.
that is the fastest and most efficient way. Just do live reps with live resistance, you know, and just do it
Situationals.
over and over
Situationals,
and over and over. Because, you know, that way, like at this point, like if someone puts me in the saddle, I'm like,
You're comfortable.
I mean, I'm
Comfortable. You've been not comfortable
it's not like,
necessarily
it's not
to
my
say,
first,
but
it's
you.
not my first time being there, and like I instinctively kind of
It's not your first rodeo in the saddle, huh? You like that? You like that?
DK's got
good.
like little. He's
That
got
was
like
good.
one-liners. He'll
That
hit.
was good, man. That was a good one. I like that one. When Colin puts me in the saddle, it's not my first rodeo.
Ah, man.
Damn, that was good, bro.
Good night, everybody.
Shit. I'm here all day. Here all day. Oh, shit.
But, yeah, it's just familiarity with positions, you know, kind of takes away the fear of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of what I do because I started doing the gi advanced, the gi competition class on Tuesdays, and the focus has just been guard passing, and it is just I show one thing, and then the rest of the rounds you get 20 seconds break, and you're either passing guard or you're playing guard the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's just you get 20 seconds because IBJJF. That's how long you
That's
get
it.
to tie your belt and get the hell over it, and go straight.
Well, it's
back into it.
also 20 seconds is like, yeah, you get to 20 seconds. I do a 15-second break whenever we do our, so we do situationals on Thursday. Have you been to Thursday noon
Yeah,
yet?
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time on Thursdays.
You come here.
You go here. But yeah,
First time
on
seeing this man.
Thursdays.
Sometimes those things are miserable, dude.
We do 16 minute, not 16
2-minute goes.
16 2-minute goes. So the 2 minutes, so, you know, last week we did 4 rounds starting from full mount, 4 rounds starting from the back, 4 rounds side control, and then 4 rounds in the guard, right? Or no, it was 4 rounds in the guard, and then we went progressively until the last round was side control. The last 4 rounds were side control. So it comes out to be 32 minutes straight for the most part because you get a 15-second break in between there. A lot of people don't tie their belt. A lot of people are like, all right, let's go. They're too tired, you know, or worried about, you know, themselves getting tired. But, yeah, that is a very good concept to do is, you know, the specific training and doing the 20-second breaks because, man, you know, there's sometimes in a jiu-jitsu match where you got to play the game and you can untie your belt and just so you can take a breath.
Tony told me that.
Yeah.
Because he saw that I do like the super knot. He's like, don't ever do that if you compete.
Yeah.
He's like, you want your belt. You
want
might
it
want
done.
your belt to come undone.
Yeah, because they'll tell you and you're like, you know, and you can, I can't remember the name of this guy's, Felipe Costa. Felipe Costa, you ever heard of him? He's an old school black belt. And he has a little documentary out. And this guy never won any type of major titles, never won really a big tournament at all until he won Worlds or something like that. But one of his little tactics for competing, especially 10-minute matches at the black belt division in IBJJF is, you know, if you're like separated and your belt's a little on tight, you can untie it or whatever, and the ref will, you know, give you the 20 seconds. And he'll use that time frame to catch his breath and kind of recover so he can push on a little bit more past that. Yeah. So those are awesome.
So, Phil, in the gi, like, what would you say your favorite what would you say your go-to? I mean, your Instagram handle is Spinny Boy, right? So does that have something to do with bolos? Are you a bolo guy?
At one time, I was.
What changed?
Well, now I'm Master One. I'm just kidding. But nah, I still do them. It's just
It's just not your sole focus.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
starting to
think,
do
you
other
know?
things. Like
You're weaving things off of that.
My issue, my old issue, or what I think my old issue was, is that it was either bolo or nothing. And like now I feel like it's like I can bolo, but I can also subsequently just, you know, do a little tech stand up single leg and then just pass the guard from there. It's just, I'm trying to, like, don't get me wrong, like I still love doing bolos, and like if you watch me in the gi class, you'll still see me hit a couple. Like I haven't forsaken it and stopped working on it. It's just sometimes people don't move in ways that make it easy to access the bolo, and it's just instead of fighting for it, I just go to something else.
Yeah, so that's the way jiu-jitsu should be. You know, don't, like, if something's not working, you move on to the next thing. It's like a flow chart, you know, and you should know what a flow chart's like. Civil engineer over here.
Oh, I can't read.
Math problems, I'm your man.
You right? Well, before we started this, we took a look at his textbook. Good Lord.
Jeez, bro.
DK's first question was, what is a triangle?
What is this
with
triangle
an S mean?
with an S? And obviously, it's like you go look at, oh, okay, that's what it means. But
that shit is a different language.
But yeah, Phil, would you say you started doing bolos more because when Rayhan got here, or what?
So my problem is I was doing bolos at Blue Belt, but like I didn't really have any like in-person guidance.
Understanding, yeah.
And that was kind of the big difference that Rayhan had, is because I had like someone like who played that same game like in person that was with me every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To help me develop
And
that
talking
game.
shit to you every day.
Yeah, it was.
Berating you and making you
I told-
feel like your jiu-jitsu sucked.
I made the joke that nobody's allowed to have water.
Man, so what he's talking about, nobody's allowed to have water, is so, you know, I'd opened the academy and, you know, I didn't really have any high-level guys to train with. You know, I had Ethan, but Ethan was a blue belt, you know, and a shitty blue belt at the time. Ethan's not going to see this, but he would probably agree. Anyways, I didn't really have anybody to push me. And being an academy owner, sometimes you get into a teach mode, right? You just teach and you don't roll. You don't feel like you need to roll. You don't feel like you need to get better, you know. But honestly, dude, where we're at in Myrtle Beach, we get visitors from all over the country, all over the world, and guess what they want to do? They want to roll with the head instructor, and they're going to want to put it on the head instructor. So I knew that was going to happen, and so during that time, Rayhan, he was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu under Cobrinha, multiple-time world champ, ADCC champ, who's Cobrinha, that is. And Rayhan won purple belts, won the Europeans at purple belt, and I want to say, and he won Pan Ams at purple belt as well. At Europeans, he had 64 people in his bracket. So I think he said he had like 11 or 16 matches. I can't, you know the math on that.
I think it would be 16 matches, right?
Yeah, I want to say it was 16 matches he had, which is insane.
Yeah.
Right? If you had 64 people in your bracket. Anyways.
He's looking at us like we're doing the math wrong.
Yeah, he's like, you guys suck.
Yeah.
He was like, actually, it's pi squared over
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah. But anyways.
Exponentials of 2.
But, you know, I had heard Rayhan was the man because I had friends of mine that still trained at Marcelo Garcia's up in New York, and that was Rayhan was training at Marcelo's when he was going to school in New York City. And so I shot him a message. I was like, I heard you were the man. I want to train with you. So he rolls in on a 6 o'clock day, and this is January, February time frame of 2019. We opened in November of 2018. So there was hardly anybody on the mats at that class. So who had to roll with Rayhan? Me. And who got fucked up by Rayhan? Me. It was a 5-minute go, and the first round all I did was take my back. But still, if we're going on point systems, he beat me. I'm like, let's go again. Shake hands, boom. This time, he took my back and then choked me with a bow and arrow. I'm like, let's go again. you know. So it's, and then from there he was like, dude, you're the only black belt in Myrtle Beach that'll roll with me, that wants to train with me. I'm like, yeah, because I want to get better. I'm like, you're good, dude. Like, and it's not good at jiu-jitsu. Like, he's good at jiu-jitsu and he has a good understanding of jiu-jitsu, but he had a different game than anybody I had ever trained with. All time ever trained with. He had a more modern game with the berimbolo, and he was long. He was bigger than me. Like, his arms were long, legs were long, and he was strong too, because he played football at Dartmouth as a lineman, defensive lineman, dude. He was like 200 and something pounds at one time.
Yeah, and he lost all the weight, but like,
yeah, but he still had that strength.
Those guys are some of the dudes who like were bigger, but then dropped the weight. Are some of the strongest motherfuckers.
Yeah, for sure.
And the motherfucker was flexible. Passing Rayhan's guard was like almost impossible because of his leg dexterity. He'd be able to. You'd get in the side control, and this leg is coming up and over and in front of you, pushing you on your chest, moving you out of the way, and the bottom leg's coming on the inside. Like, I mean, it was he'd throw it over your face, or he'd put it on your shoulder, and he'd kick you away just enough to get space for him to get back. But anyways, long story short, short story long, I mean, Rayhan would run kind of like a competition training at 7 o'clock, and then on Saturdays as well. And man, we guys from, you know, Wilmington were coming down all over the place, and man, we would train hard. And he'd be like, no fucking water, nobody's drinking water. We're like, whoa, what is going on? And me as the academy owner, everybody's looking at me. I'm like, guess we're not drinking water. You know?
I remember there was like 8-minute 50-50 situationals.
Yes, dude.
Dang.
Yeah, 8-minute 50-50 situations
10,
for like 10 rounds. Yeah.
8 rounds.
Yeah. It would be an obnoxiously amount of time. And, you know, there would be, I was getting ready for Pan Ams, and dude, I was just, my gi, my belt, even my belt that's around my waist, soaking wet with sweat. I'm just dead tired, you know. And that mentality is something that I needed to see, and that, you know, him coming here and training, you know, was really beneficial for me, but also for Phil, Ethan, and a lot of other guys in there. Tony, yeah. You know, that was just
highly about him.
Yeah, and that was just like it was
Like
just like
where a lot of us leveled up.
You're exactly right, man. A lot of us leveled up.
But I feel like that was like
frame.
a perfect storm, because that was right after COVID, and what essentially happened was almost like this great migration of Myrtle Beach, where like we just had this purple belt squad just migrate over. It was originally me, Ethan, because me and Ethan got our purples
around the same time. I think you were a couple months ahead.
But it was me, Ethan. At that time, Tony was a purple belt.
Yep.
Chevy.
Yep.
Brad.
Yep.
God, I feel like I'm missing some people. Jeff.
Yep. Yeah, there was just like a purple belt squad. And at that time, man, and then, you know, Phil started competing a lot in IBJJF, got to be number 3 in the world at one point in time. So that's
at purple
belt. Yeah, number 3 in the world. Is that the top, highest you got? Is number 3?
At one point I was number 2, but I had to miss Nogi Worlds.
Yeah,
and that obviously the points for that, whoever won that is gonna.
Yeah.
So I finished out I think it was the 2020 season at number 3 at featherweight and Nogi. I was 19 overall, and I was 15 at feather and the gi. Yeah,
which is, I mean, how many people compete in IBJJF?
Yeah, it's gonna be a shit ton.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome little thing for you to reach. I mean, I've never been ranked in the top 10 in IBJJF.
Do you have any I guess aspirations to do that again?
So one of the main reasons I kind of asked Ethan if I could run the 7, because Ethan predominantly runs the competition classes, but I kind of wanted to take over the 7 because I am planning on making my gi return this year, just because I feel like.
But at Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I mean,
dude, you're gonna smoke all those old men.
Well,
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Oh, okay.
I'll be 31 in April.
Yeah, so he can compete in the Masters 1.
But I mean, for no-gi, I mean, I have a match coming up in March, but I mean, it's in the adult division. I'll take whoever, like whatever super fight matches. I don't care, but it's just like I feel like I feel like I have this need to like at least a few times compete in the gi at Brown.
I agree.
Just because, like, I'm not gonna like sell my soul to compete in the gi at Brown, but like, you know, pop in, do a few, just be like, hey, I still remember how to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, bye everyone.
Yeah. Peace out. Yeah.
Just a reminder.
Just gonna get this gold medal real quick, and then I'll see you guys later.
I might do a gi super fight. We'll see. But I mean, my last match at Purple was actually, I don't know, but it was a gi super fight. That was my last match at Purple. I won with an armbar from close guard.
Yeah.
About as basic of a submission as you can win with. And then my next match at Toro Cup is the week I got my brown. It was against another brown belt, but I used to compete. I don't dislike the gi. It's just I'm better at no gi, so that's what I try and sell.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, obviously your match coming up is with Toro, right?
Yeah.
Do you plan on going to Pan Ams or anything like that?
So I thought about it. I kind of got a little bit of an upper respiratory thing at the beginning of the year, so I'm kind of. But I mean, I'm still rolling, 10 plus rounds. So like my cardio is good. It's just I got that little like dry throat that's really annoying.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna right now. I'm just focusing on having a really quality performance at Toro. Getting my weightlifting right, getting my diet right, and doing those hard rounds because I train here 5 days and then I do one session at home that's more of a light drill day. Mm-hmm. But the 5 trainings I have here are really hard sessions because it's the Tuesday with the comp class that I make
and then you
push.
Also do the 6 o'clock class.
I always do the 6 o'clock
6 o'clock rollings too.
And Wednesday open mat, throw down Thursday, open mat Friday, gi open mat Saturday. So
yeah.
It's a lot of training, man.
So I'm just trying to. My main focus right now is just like it's my first Toro back. I had a really rough semester last semester, and
he's going to school. Still.
So it was just really. It was just really rough. I have a little bit more flexibility this time. So like I said, it's my first one back, and I just want to have a really quality performance. And it's my favorite place to compete at. I love the rule set at Toro. It's.
If you guys don't know about that, so the jiu-jitsu company called Toro BJJ, they have what's called the Toro Cup. It's a invite only. Like you can put in an application, and then people can, they're going to pick people from there to come and do tournaments and different or do a match, if you will, and. I think we got 5 guys competing. Yeah, 5 guys competing. March 2nd, right?
Yep. March
2nd, yeah.
March 2nd, we got so far confirmed. We have a few applications in, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but we have a few other applicants in, so we'll see if we get a couple more. But we got me. All the posters are out now. So
it's you, Ethan, Lucas, Corey,
Zach.
And Zach
Zach's
now.
poster just came out today.
Yeah,
so.
I just shared that. So 5 guys, man, which is it's a pretty good crew, man.
We can also start a burger company.
Yeah.
Do they stream those?
5 guys.
They those are actually on Flow Grappling.
Oh, okay, so it's like a subscription base.
So no broke bitches. You got to buy the subscription.
Yeah, got to buy the subscription to Flow Grappling. But it's like what a cool platform. They have good commentators. What's that girl's name?
Kendall Roosing.
Yeah.
She's a multiple-time world champion.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool, man. It would be cool for exposure for the academy and also experience for. I think Lucas is probably the only one that hasn't done it, right?
It's gonna be.
What about Corey?
Corey hasn't done it, and Lucas hasn't done it. So so what Lucas wants to do? Lucas wants to do Master Worlds again this year. And I said, man, you need to compete as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
No matter what, because what you need to do is learn how to combat that feeling, that angst and that anxiety feeling and pressure in front of people.
I think that a super fight is almost better for that than the tournament, because the thing about like a competition like IBJJFs, for example, Naga's New Breeds, is that you can kind of get lost in the matches. You know what I mean? Like there's 12 other matches going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nobody's really focused on you
unless you're like a big name.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if Tynan Dalper is competing over there, no one's watching me.
Right.
But super fight is different because it's like you are center stage. All
Big,
eyes
giant
on
mat,
you.
yeah.
The lights are on. The cameras are on. There's a whole commentator crew back there. You have a long car ride home with the teammates if you do something stupid. But
Yeah.
but no, it's if you can conquer your nerves for a super fight, tournaments are almost like nothing, because you're like, man, nobody here even cares about me.
Yes.
What am I even nervous about?
Right.
They're more worried about the Annie Ann's machine, Annie Ann's and acai bowl corner.
Yeah,
Over there.
dude.
They don't give a fuck about
Dude,
me.
that acai bowl place, man.
Oh man,
Whew.
whenever we go to that Orlando,
Yeah,
if we had the acai bowl like upstairs.
What's that, Silver Spurs Arena?
Yeah, Silver Spurs. They have the
Yes, dude.
acai bowl upstairs.
Yes, back right corner.
I can't wait to lose so I can go up there.
Dude, I don't eat because I'm stressed for you guys, so I won't eat in breakfast in the morning. Next thing you know, it's 4:00 in the afternoon and everybody's finally done, and I'm like starving. And then there's a big giant line at the acai bowl place, but they crank those things out quick, man.
We got to go back to one place I want to go back to is that King Bao place that we had.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got to go back to that.
Yeah. That's another thing about Rayhan is like after a tournament, bro.
You'd spend $400 on food.
Yes, he wants to go.
Not only would you pay $120.
He wants to go everywhere to go eat. He's like, hey, we're going here, and then after this, we're going to go over here. He calls it a bang bang. I think I've mentioned this.
Yeah. One of the earlier episodes you mentioned.
You'd spend $120, for your IBJJF registration. You'd pay all the money to travel over there, and then you'd spend $487
In
at
food,
17 different
yes.
restaurants eating
God,
with Rayhan.
dude. Man, and when you
My
go,
credit
like,
score went down by 80 after
he doesn't. He doesn't go to
dining
cheap
experience.
places either, man. He doesn't go to cheap places. It's
Well, he was
not-
a doctor.
Yes, yeah. And his dad's a doctor too.
Yeah.
who owns his own family practice. But
He's used to the finer things.
finer things in life.
Real quick before we dip, have you guys? This is technically it's combat sports, but have you guys seen the whole scandal going on with Mr. McMahon,
Who?
the WWE guy?
Vince?
Yeah.
No.
So there's a whole scandal coming out, of I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube, but it's abuse, right? Woman. Well, apparently details came out and he like shit on her head.
Oh, okay.
And that was and then he named like toys after wrestlers and would make them like use them on each other. You guys haven't seen any of that?
No.
Oh, I was reading about that this morning.
Bro. Wow.
Yeah.
I have listened
Said
to the whole.
defecated on her head and then made her continue.
Oh wow.
Fuck is that?
Continue with what?
With
Yeah.
sex, I'm assuming.
Wow. How can you? Like, how does that turn you on? I'm
Good
gonna
night,
shit on
everybody.
your head.
Like, I saw Brendan Schaub talking about it. He's like, I just don't get it. Like after that happens, like the fun is over. The
It's
party's
over,
done.
man.
You
Like,
know?
I don't want to
Man,
smell my
thought-
own shit.
I don't want to
dude.
ever hear any of the Bluebells complain about how I treat you after
Yes,
that story.
exactly. It's like I'm not.
You will
shitting
sit
on
here
you.
and take the abuse that I give you, especially you, Colin. If you watch this, I'm still not forgiving you for skipping open mat.
Oh, what about Jacob?
He's a lost cause. I'm just kidding.
Dude, the road to and from Indian Land was hilarious.
I know.
It was hilarious.
The funny part is that would have been some great footage for the embedded, but you were asleep when you were supposed to be getting the.
man.
He's like, I gotta sit up front so I can get the B-roll footage. I look up. He's like,
Next thing you know, he's out.
I got a
he'd
couple
wake up,
shots
take
and I
like
went
a
to
little
sleep.
video of the rain, and then go back to sleep.
Hey, it worked. It worked. I got that front seat, and I didn't have to sit between Pat and Jacob on the way there, and Ethan's little Ford. What is that? Fiesta.
Fucking Ford Fiesta. He gets so mad when we call it the Ford
think it's
Fiesta.
a Fiesta.
No,
they don't
but we-
make those anymore,
we
but
kept
it
calling
looks
it
like a Fiesta.
It's a Focus.
It's
I
a
think.
Focus, yeah. But he keeps it clean though.
He does, but man, sharing that back seat with Jacob.
Pat's
and
like
Pat.
6'3".
Yeah.
Jacob's like 6'2". I'm in the middle just skiing the entire ride.
Oh, yeah, you are.
It's just
Yes.
It
Shifting
was a fun
gears.
trip, though.
I ended up with scoliosis afterwards. It was a very I ended up guillotining Jacob in the backseat. It was
that made the embedded.
Man, real quick before we cut to
Yeah.
these new Alanis that we just got, cherry twist. It's
Little
like a cherry
product placement.
It's like a cherry limeade.
Oh, anything cherry limeade is always amazing.
It doesn't say cherry limeade. It says cherry twist.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
They 100% made it.
But it's got a lime on it.
They're just
Yeah.
renaming cherry
But
limeade something else.
It's not as
sued
like
by Sonic.
Yeah, it's not like a super sweet thing either. Like this doesn't have any sugars in it. 0 added sugars. But dude, these are serious, man. Like I smash these, dude. Smash them. We're selling them here for $3.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yeah. No, dude. If Alani knew
700 milligrams
us, man,
of caffeine later.
just, I drink at least one a day, unfortunately, for my gut. But they're good, man. I like them.
Incapacitate a moose with 3 of these.
Yes. Dude, that moose will be running around. The only way it's going to get incapacitated is running around. Crashes into a tree.
I mean, we already had cocaine
adrenaline
there. Why
dump
not
on
caffeine
Yeah,
moose?
yeah. Caffeine moose.
Be a good
all right.
fighter nickname.
Well, you want to take us out, Deke?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for, following along with us so far. We're, man, how many episodes are we in?
I think this is
40?
42.
42 episodes, man. And, I appreciate you guys, have listened to our, guests that we have on. They're not superstars, but it's really cool sometimes to hear other people's stories that, before they do anything big or before, that are just regular people like you and me. And, guy, he goes to school, he has a wife, he has a kid. He's bought a house this year. He's going to school, or last year, going to school, getting his 3rd bachelor's degree already, but he's still finding time to train. And he's still finding time to compete, and he's still finding time to coach and do all those things together. So it's really cool to hear that and see that happening. But for you folks out there just sitting on your ass, like, comment, or subscribe on our YouTube, all right? We really appreciate it. Share the shit out of this thing. We call that a SS. Share that shit. STS. Share that shit. All right? Share our shit. We appreciate it. We're not like Vince McMahon. We're not going to shit on your head, but just, share our shit. Anyways, we're at 500 subscribers too.
Yeah, I think we're just over 5 now. So we did say that when we hit 500, we do another giveaway. The first giveaway we did gave away the entire no-gi set that we came out with.
$150 giveaway.
$150. This one we were talking beforehand. We think we're gonna get like some.
We're getting some
You get
hats.
a free
and some,
night with Ethan Daly.
in his Ford Focus.
You get $500 value.
You get a ride around Myrtle Beach in a lovely Ford Focus, and we take you to the most romantic location we have here, Magoo's.
Magoo's. Their wings are good. Their wings are good.
We'll get some sort of thing put together soon, whether it's hats, a shirt, or something like that.
Yeah, we're working on that right now.
Yeah. But what we're gonna do is, still very new to this YouTube thing and looking through the subscribers. So if you'd like to win, go follow us on our Instagram. It's at LockedInDKA. There will be a post on there that we'll post, for this episode. Just comment on it, whatever, like where you're watching from, or who you want to see, or whatever. You can also leave it in the comments below. I'll include the YouTube comments, and then that'll make it a lot easier to randomly pick somebody. I'll probably just do a video of putting all those names in a hat and then drawing, so people don't think I'm like picking and choosing over here. And then we'll just do it that way.
Pretty easy. Yep.
Phil, appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Out.